Welcome to ASEAN BIZ, your only choice for business updates covering ASEAN countries. We are your hosts Andrew Chia and
Eric Chong,
and we bring you business news on everything that happens around the world that involves ASEAN countries.
In this brand new editions, we bring you 4 segments: the current business update, our durian main story, funny business moment, and health is wealth. With us in the studio today is our guest, Miss Ruby Kaur. She will share with us her story on our durian main show shortly. But before that, we will have our current business update, and Ruby also welcome to chips in her take on our hot topic for today, that is China's currency devaluations.
Yes, the hot topic nowadays is China's currency devaluation. Before this, China was also in the news because their stock market crashed, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right now they are again in the news because their currency crashed again.
So this devaluation, is it a deliberate move or is it market forces?
I believe the government of China has deliberately devalued their currency due to, of course, some very good reasons on their part.
Because they have facing weak demand for the exports.
Right, yeah. And they actually devalued the currency twice over the past few weeks.
Yes, and for a country to devalue their currency twice within a short period of 2 to 3 months is actually quite a very bold move for the country.
In fact, it's quite a shocking move because the whole world right now is saying that there's a kind of tidal wave of deflation on the world economy.
And this particularly will affect Australia because Australia is their main trading partners.
Right. China's economy is bad news for Australia.
Yes. Recently, I think from a lot of economists from Australia, they said that most of Australia's economy's growth is pegged towards China growth. Because China is their main buyer of their raw materials, iron, gold, and
right. Let's hear what Ruby Kaur has to say on China's devaluation. Ruby, do you go to China often?
I not very often go to China because China, I think, is a very packed of people.
Oh, it's too crowded for you, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you can always go to the countryside.
Yeah, that's right. So I think China is coming up very, very fast compared to last time that I went before.
Yeah.
When was your last time in China?
It was on 2012, I think.
Oh.
To Guangzhou, I think.
Oh, that's just a few years back only.
That's Ruby Kaur. Ruby is from a small town called Kajang in Malaysia.
Now it's not small already, though. Kajang considered a big town, and its development is coming up.
It's a small town in ASEAN. It's coming to be a big town in Malaysia. Okay. Right, goods from China will be cheaper and people may postpone spending while waiting for goods to be even more cheaper. And that is bad news for economies in the West, especially the US. That's why you see the news, US is so angry with China because China is devaluing their currency.
And in fact, quite a number of countries are angry with China, right?
Especially Western countries.
Especially Western countries, because of their so-called robust economic growth. China have been buying a lot of bonds, of the European bonds, South American bonds, and
right.
Even they actually bought a city in US.
Wow, you want to buy a city?
Right. So if I'm not mistaken, the recent purchase is Detroit.
They buy Detroit?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they own about 70% of Detroit's property.
Detroit is the home of the big three.
Yes.
The 3 biggest car makers in America. No more business, right? All bankrupt. That's why China is buying it up.
So China is going there for fire sales. And China is also one of the major holder of Greece bonds.
So Greece will be in more trouble when the currency is
devalued. So in this sense, China will attract a lot of foreign buyers to their country. Then the export will actually increases.
Yeah, for the past many years, China's GDP has been growing like double digit. Okay, at least 7 or 8%.
Recently is kind of not close to double digit.
Yeah, about 7% is quite a big drop from those days.
Double digit. So, but then a lot of my friends who are trading with China, most of them also traded in US dollars. So in this sense, that might not be very helpful if you are traded in US dollars with the China parties.
Right. Whether you trade in US dollars or renminbi, the exports will be less already because China's growth is slowing.
Still trade in US dollars, but recently a lot of Malaysian businessmen are actually opening up renminbi account. Right, so they actually buy their stuff with their own China accounts.
Right.
Then they trade in renminbi. So in this sense, I think those traders who do this kind of practice don't actually lose out on the US dollars, or don't actually lose out when the ringgit weakens.
In fact, the renminbi currency is getting more and more popular in ASEAN and in Asian countries itself.
Yes. And quite a number of businessmen are actually contemplating to hold on to more renminbi rather than Malaysia ringgit.
Yes.
To say it's a fact.
Yeah, the renminbi is getting stronger and stronger, and that may not be good news for China because they want to export more stuff, right?
Yes.
And I believe recently a lot of our businessmen, especially in the garment industry, they used to buy a lot of baju from China and sell in Sungai Wang or Times Square, which is the more popular shopping centers in Malaysia.
Yes.
They are moving to Thailand to buy all their stuff.
Fact, now you can see them getting their stuff from Thailand, from Vietnam, and also from Myanmar. Myanmar is coming up.
Right.
So in this sense, China is losing their comfort.
I believe that is the reason why China devalues their currency, so that they can start boosting more of their exports.
Part of the strategy.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. Otherwise, all the customers run away and go to Thailand, Myanmar, and other places,
That's why
right?
you say a weakening ringgit will actually attract more tourists to our country, right? Hopefully. Let's look on the positive side, right? So, and then the impact on US. Everybody would love to boost their net export, but everybody can't do that at the same time unless we find other planets to buy our stuff. Okay.
This is Bernstein. Jared Bernstein is a senior fellow at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities in the US. So this guy says that if you talk about, say, currency wars, everybody want to have a cheaper currency so that they can export more. But if everybody on the planet is doing that, then it's useless. Unless somebody from other planets buy our stuff.
Right. So this motivates a lot of countries to actually go into the so-called elusive solutions.
They think that if the currency is cheaper, everybody will buy from them.
It turns their currency cheaper. That's the whole issues of why they sound so positive when the ringgit weakens.
Yes, in our country, in case you don't know, our ringgit has weakened to almost 20-year low, isn't it?
Right.
And a lot of people are already screaming and suffering because our imports are very expensive. But the government is saying that our exports are boosted because of a cheaper ringgit.
Yes,
and tourism is boosted.
But if you look at the other side of the pictures, our exports are very insignificant nowadays because a lot of our manufacturing base have actually shifted.
That's one thing.
So our export volume is not that high anymore. And if we look back on 20 years ago, we still have a very robust furniture industries. And nowadays we don't see the robustness of the furniture industries. The export of furniture have actually dropped since 20 years ago.
Right.
Most of the manufacturing base actually shifted to Thailand and even to China.
So coming back to the $1 million question, China's currency devaluation, what kind of impact will it have exactly on ASEAN countries itself, including our country, Malaysia?
Well, I think if you look at it, if China actually, when they devalue their currencies, right, the so-called for Malaysia, let's look at Malaysia. We know that a lot of products are coming from China. Okay, so a lot of traders will actually gain.
They're a bit happier.
A bit happier. But on top of that, they're also very sour because the ringgit actually weakens so much.
Right.
So it's actually neutralize the effect. So they don't actually gain it that much.
I think it's slightly better for us only.
It's
Eric, can you remember not too long ago, 1 ringgit can buy 4 renminbi?
Yes.
After that, we can buy only 2 renminbi.
2 renminbi.
Today, we can only buy something at
Less than one something.
150.
Right.
You know, that's quite bad already.
Yes.
So if you have a cheaper Chinese currency, we'll be a bit more happier.
Right. So in this sense, you look at it, we actually lost our purchasing power close to 30%. You know, and a lot of traders don't know how to put this into accounting in their P&L. Loss of forex exchange. And
all the profits gone.
All the profits are gone, and you just imagine if you are truly a so-called 100% importers of China goods.
Right.
So you will be.
So maybe your business makes a profit of 30%, but because of the China currency appreciating 30%, so you actually lost all your profits.
So maybe we look at we have our young girl here, Ruby. So she's one of the consumer. So what's your take? You are a consumer, right? So do you face so-called a cheaper?
Ruby, what's the main item you buy from that's made
nowadays
in China?
Or do you find that your dollar does not actually stretch you that far?
Oh, okay. Thanks, Eric and Andrew, your sharing. Actually, quite for me, right, with this kind of cases happening, this kind of incident happening, I mean, like, renminbi is going to appreciating, right? Actually, it's from my side, right, in a positive way. Actually, we as a Malaysian, I think, even though have to become value added in order to earn more money. In other way, that to spending higher spending in this kind of imported goods.
So it will cause the consumer to spend more money on luxurious items.
Yes.
Branded items.
Branded item, most.
So actually, those are just part and parcel of your wants. It's not actually a needs. Okay. So for a person, you can actually
so now
without this kind of items.
Don't buy Hermes bag from China. Buy from US now. Oh, it's worse.
It's worse. So I think the best is we go for more designer item, not to say designer brands. We go for more creative items. Is it my recent trip to Bangkok or even Siem Reap? You can see the way they are so creative to come up with a range of handbags for ladies. Actually, they are cheap, they are presentable, and it's practically very viable for a lot of ladies who like to change fashion. So they come up with a full range, and it's actually so cheap.
Yeah, you see, China is having a lot of competition, right?
Right. Yeah. So you see, from Thailand, they're actually very creative. So they can do handbags with leftover materials. Right. So in fact, I bought a few bags comes back. They use it. They use old jeans. They use old rags, but they do it so nicely.
Recycling. And
it recycle, and it's so cheap. So that's the way is what we call it, so-called mindful spending.
Right, guys, we'll take a short break now, and we'll be back with our main story for today. Stay tuned, guys. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're listening to ASEAN BIZ, and our Durian main story today is the top 3 most common mistakes made when buying a life insurance policy. But before we bring you our main story, Eric is going to share with us his funny business moment, and the title of his story today is Speeding.
Right. Okay. This particular incident, this particular driver, he was speeding. Then a police officer attempts to stop the car to chase after him, but as the police officer keep chasing, the guy gradually increases his speed until he's stopping close to almost like 180 kilometers per hour. Then the man eventually realizes that he can't escape anymore, and
Because
finally,
the police is very fast also.
yeah, because you know the police car they are
Hot
using
on his heels.
they are using Evo 6 to chase after him. So finally he pulls over. The car approaches the cops. The policeman approaches the car and says, "It's been a long day, and my shift is almost over. So if you can give me a good excuse for your behavior, I will let you go." The guy thinks for a few seconds and then says, "My wife ran away with a policeman about a week ago. I thought you might be that police officer trying to give her back to me."
Ayo, so sad. What a wife.
Which means the wife...
Hey Eric, can you make jokes without insulting wives?
Well, it just so happens today we need to make jokes about wife. Right?
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you, Eric, for that
Because
funny
we are too
business
used to
moment.
make joke about lawyers.
Right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to ASEAN Biz, your only choice for business updates covering ASEAN countries. I'm your host, Andrew Chia, and together with me is...
Eric Chong.
And we bring you business news on everything that happens around the world that involves ASEAN countries. We would also like to welcome again our guest for today, Ms. Ruby Koh, who will be sharing her thoughts with us on our Durian Main show. Ruby is from Kajang, a lively town in Malaysia, famous for satay, which is a local delicacy of barbecued chicken or beef. Ruby holds a postgraduate diploma in e-commerce and marketing and is currently with the Great Eastern Life Assurance Company as a career agent. She is a GE Supremacy Award Elite Producer from 2008 to 2014.
The title of our Durian Main show today is the top 5 most common mistakes made when choosing a life insurance policy.
Right, Ruby?
Yes.
We are talking about most common mistakes that people make. In your experience after in the line for 10 years,
Yes, you are right.
what do you think is the most common mistake that people make when choosing an insurance policy?
Okay, the first common mistake, right, they will make is they actually simply do not buy without understanding their own needs.
That means simply buy.
Yes, because of probably some of them will follow their friends, like buying this policy. They just follow blindly and according what
Right,
they are
my friend
surrounded.
buy, I buy lah.
Yeah, that's right. Something like
now,
this.
Now is
Yeah.
very popular in the market. So
My friend buy must be good lah. So I also buy.
That's right. So some of, a few of them will be like this kind of mindset, like just now you mentioned. But depends on their own individuals. Like for the generation X and Y, they probably will follow their peers.
Yeah, so what you mean is what is good for the friend may not be suitable for him, isn't it?
Yes, you are right, because normally planning an insurance, we normally depends on personal needs. Like for example, if let's say for the youngster, so probably we are more concerning about their protections, because protection is when they are out for workings on actually to burden a family. So anything happen to them, right, at least the insurance policy can really help them in the medically protected, and then yet financially protected as well.
Right, that's the whole idea of an insurance, right?
Yes, correct.
maybe you can give us some examples what you mean by understand own needs.
Oh, okay. Understand own needs, right? That means we have to do, a simply fact finding, or maybe we can have very small discussions on recently what their purpose in their life, and then what is their purpose of right now working so hard. Because some people, they're working so hard actually just because of earning a living. So what about if let's say anything happened to them, they're not any critical illness or anything fall sick, right? Who is going to bear this kind of medical fees and survive their living?
Loss of income.
Yes, you're right. The main point is loss of income. So our insurance purpose is coming to fit in there
to cover that.
Yeah, take care for their living expenses and all this. So this is one of the needs. So we must understand from them. But some of them, they're actually not so important on that. They are more concerned about their own saving, because nowadays the generation X and Y, they are mostly more enjoy their life, so they lack of the concept of financial planning, like the way of they are saving their money. So
Right.
probably they are less concerned about protection. Then we can proposing them more on saving and more on like reserve their cash in long term.
Yeah, you talk about Generation X and Y. How about Generation Z?
Yeah.
Are you leaving them out? What do they actually need?
Oh, to them, they only have this particular concept called the "you only live once" concept.
Yeah, daddy buy for me. Don't worry, I don't need to buy.
So anything that will, all the farmer bank will take care of it.
Yeah, father and mother bank.
This is a generation that we also need to very thoroughly to take into this generation Z that you mentioned, because this coming improving worlds, right? Now this kind of generation is coming up already.
Yeah,
They're
quick,
even
very fast.
Yeah, very fast. So actually, they are one of our business partner. Instead of buying a policy, business partner is they can become our in this insurance or in this career as one of the financial planner as well.
Right,
Not only
yeah.
become the consumer.
They can help you to sell more insurance also. It's a great career.
Yeah,
Yes.
can be considered one of our business partner. Yes.
But first, you need to educate them first.
Yeah, that's right.
To tell them that you need to buy the insurance instead
Not
of your
really,
daddy
you
and
need to
mommy.
educate them that you actually need to make a living by your own, right? Rather than depending on the pharma bank. And it actually happens. This group of Generation Z, as they call it,
Yeah,
so dependent on the parents.
correct. So
Right.
this is also
So
a potential group that we will coming focus.
It's just how the industry actually pulls them out of their so-called comfort zones.
Yeah. So, but this generation actually did help a lot. So, I mean, like in this career and in this business world, because they actually have a very good exposure from their background about what is the business entrepreneur from their parents or their background. So,
Right.
the way of they derive their career is totally different from generation X and Y. So probably we can work very, very closely with them, and then
Yeah.
actually more easy to accept new things lah. So I think this generation group Z, right, is we are very concerning too.
Yeah, they know how their daddy mommy make money, especially from
Exactly.
business.
Yes,
so
exactly.
they have some business acumen
Yeah,
which you
I
can
was-
exploit to become your business partner
I can, yeah,
and
this-
make money together.
Right. So beside that, what is the next common mistake?
Okay, another common mistake is that actually don't know what type of policy they are choosing, because nowadays, right, insurance policy actually is coming up so many, and then yet it's very practical. That means it's not only previously it's conventional plan or investment linked plan anymore.
Right, yeah, those days we have only two types of plans.
It's either whole life or endowment.
Yeah.
Just like Eric, those days we only have two types of sex,
Yeah.
man and woman, male and female.
Male and female.
Right now we have how many types of sexes do you have now?
Now it's quite difficult because certain countries they will have different grammar. When you are in Bangkok, they will
It's
say
complicated.
he is a girl.
Okay, and she is a boy.
Yeah, that's right.
He can use the ladies' toilet,
Right.
and she can use the men's toilet.
Yeah.
But sometimes the men and the ladies don't allow them to use their toilet, and that's a problem.
So the world is getting complicated.
Yes.
So even financial products also gets more complicating, and to actually understand how the financial product works is a science by itself.
Yeah, well, Eric, actually it's not say that it's complicating, but I would like to say that it's very comprehensive and very practical. Because nowadays, right, the insurance not only like you buy because of buying, you actually fit to your lifestyle. Like for example, after going for protections, right, you actually can going for like retirement side already. Because nowadays they have a very short term kind of planning, which is can fulfill your short
Retirement
term needs
planning.
as well. Yeah.
Right.
Retirement planning, and then moreover now like just now your did highlight about the currency is getting slightly weaker.
So it can be a form of so-called future currency protections in a way. A future
also another
wealth
way,
protection,
yeah.
future
Some kind of
wealth protection.
hedging.
Well, yeah, it's also another way. But
So
this
you
one,
actually hedge your funds currently.
not so much on hedging, but yet you can actually reserve or reserve your cash in another method through insurance instrument, not only in the bank or not only in the forex. So this part of it, right, actually make your portfolio even more
comprehensive.
Can be said comprehensive. Your portfolio even more balanced a bit, because some I think most of the businessmen, they go for very high risk, but while you diversify a little bit in insurance instrument, then you become portfolio a bit balanced. So it's more good for you lah.
Yeah. So something crops into my mind when you talk about investment linked policy.
Yes.
So you've been 10 years in the insurance industry.
Yes, alright.
Would it be great to see that the insurance company in Malaysia actually produces foreign currency policies?
Oh, okay. For my own viewpoint, right? I don't think insurance currently will consider this kind of a currency
Not yet.
kind of policy.
Not so advanced yet.
Not to that.
So because you look at it, there are quite a number of foreigners in our country already.
Yeah.
So they will be holding a lot of foreign currencies.
Okay.
So would it be good? I'm just speculating.
Okay.
Something just cropped my mind. Would it be good that you all can actually sell policies in US currency? And make commission in US currency.
Oh, I see. I
think that should be possible, right?
I think
so in a sense there are dual protections. You protect your wealth and you protect against currency fluctuations.
Okay. Sounds like a good
I
idea.
given some idea to the insurance company. I better protect my formula.
It sounds like a good idea, but probably you can propose to my company as well. If let's say in other future lah, could be considered as well. But at the time being, I think because normally Great Eastern normally insurance company, right, their transaction is in ringgit. So if let's say you want to convert into a foreign currency, probably it take a big
because you see that most of the insurance company, the big insurance company, are actually US based.
US based. I don't think only a few companies from I think a few company only one company is from US. The rest are from Europe, and then a few also from Asia, Southeast Asia. So should be still okay lah. I mean like not
just an idea. An idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for your sharing.
Ruby, you were saying that your clients usually don't know what type of policy to choose.
Yes.
Generally, how many categories of policy, like we talk about sexes now, there are at least about 5 types. Okay? So how many types of insurance policy are there in the market right now?
Basically, right, they actually have 5 type of policy. One is whole life.
Whole life.
Okay, another one is, we call it term insurance.
Right.
Investment link.
Okay.
Annuity plan.
Annuity plan.
Plan. And the last one is endowment.
Okay. Endowment has been around for a long time, right?
Endowment has been around, I think, since time immemorial. Ever since there's
correct.
There's insurance in the market, I think endowment is already in. And annuity is something new to Malaysia. In fact, annuity is very popular during the 70s in the United States.
Correct.
So can you give some advice for, let's say, a Gen Y client? Which type of policy should be more suitable for them?
Okay.
Someone probably in their 30s, which is most of our listeners.
Yes.
Probably in their 20s or 30s.
Those in 30s will have married.
Yes.
Will have married with children and with a lot of financial commitments. So in this sense, they still need protections. The protection is very crucial to them.
Yes, right? Correct.
So in this sense, would you advise them to go more towards protections and lesser ratio towards the investment?
Okay. Back to Andrew's question. So Andrew was mentioning that what kind of plan that I should propose during for this generation's X, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, so back to your question is, normally for this kind of generation, they're just starting for the work. So we will mostly...
Starting for work, is, I think it's Gen Y or Gen Z, right? Gen X is people like us. You know, me and Eric, very old already.
Thanks for correcting me. Thanks for correcting me. Yeah. Thanks for correcting me.
Yeah, getting old, Eric.
Okay, thanks for correcting me. But for your this kind of age, right? I would like to say that it's mostly still concerning about protections as well.
Yeah, those who are coming out to work or early years in their work.
Yeah. This one we are more concerning about protections, and then we are mostly we are going to proposing like investment link, because investment link you can get in a very lower premium and very huge protections for the time being. Then thereafter you can consider go for like a conventional kind of policy, which is we call it traditionals, because traditional they use up slightly higher premium, yet the protection still average. But the main beautiful of this traditional plan is the protection will be increased added value accordingly every year. Not like investment link, the protection, I mean the sum assured will be just stagnant for the year until the rest of the years lah.
I see. Okay, so you mean the protection part will be increased gradually?
Yes,
and
correct.
that is a good thing, right?
Yes. Because as you grow older, protection is the main criteria that you should be looking for,
Right.
Yeah.
and not so much of investment.
Correct, because we are using a very low cost to exchange for the bigger
Because like
things.
investment, your returns will take a longer period. Our lifespan might not last that long to actually reap the fruits of the investment.
Right, guys, you're listening. Go for more protection gradually and less investment as you grow older. Is that correct?
Yes. Right. Okay. We will take a short break, and we'll be back with our short story shortly. Stay tuned, guys. Don't go away.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to ASEAN Biz, and our Durian main story today is the top 3 most common mistakes made when buying a life insurance policy. Before the break, we talk about 2 of the common mistakes that people make when choosing life policy. In this concluding segment, we are going to talk about the last common mistake that people make. But before that, let's take a short break to get a health tip from Eric Chong, our health and fitness expert. His health tip story for today is eat more nuts.
Right. Thanks, Andrew, for passing the mic to me. Okay. A lot of people are really hesitant to take nuts. I used to hesitate about eating nuts and peanuts. They were just so fattening. At that point in my life, food was only measured in calories.
Hey, Eric, I'm going nuts about nuts. I love nuts, man.
Yes. So now we get a true picture of what nuts is doing to us. Then I began loosening up a bit on calorie neurosis, instead focusing more on nutrition and overall health benefits. I eat walnuts, almonds regularly, plus peanut butters. Of course, peanut butter is my favorite and also my power food.
Ruby, which is your favorite nut?
Oh, I prefer walnut.
Walnut.
Good.
Yes, and
You
almond.
guys got more expensive taste.
So, actually, walnut is the best nuts to be consumed. It's high in omega-3.
Hey, how about peanuts? I love peanuts, man.
Peanut is good, but peanuts, the uric acid is a bit higher content.
Yeah.
So when you take peanuts, you take it with so-called with rationing. Right. So here's some more info on the benefits of nuts. Firstly, they help fight heart disease because
they don't give you a heart attack.
nuts carries a lot of omega-3, and omega-3 actually is help
Good
our
for the heart.
blood vessels to loosen up, be more flexible, and actually make our blood more fluid. There's a series of studies published in JAMA, Internal Medicines, found that the more nuts people eat, the less likely they are going to die at any given age, especially of those top killers, heart diseases and strokes. This, by the way, is true of any socio-economic group, including people with not so healthy habits or lifestyles. Right. So for those not so healthy lifestyle people, eating nuts can be a good alternative. More specifically, says today dietitians, those who ate more than 1 ounce of nuts per day not only had a lower mortality risk than those whose consumption was on a weekly basis, they also were less likely to be obese. The California Walnuts Commission's email refer a study from the Universities of California, Davis, involving short-term benefits of walnuts consumption among postmenopausal women with high cholesterol. Those who are eating about 1.5 ounces of walnuts. In case you're not sure about 1.5 ounces of walnuts, is what's the portioning? Is
That's
about one fistful.
One fistful, okay.
Okay, it's about one fistful of walnuts
A
per day.
human fist or a squirrel fist?
Human fist,
Okay,
squirrel
thank you.
no fist, Come on.
Hey, squirrel love nuts, man.
Yeah.
And they can always carry their nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Those who ate about 1.5 ounces of walnuts per day saw improved vascular functions due to the effects of the walnuts derived fatty acids, which is omega-3. Okay. But only 4 in 10 American adults eat nuts every day. More women than men. According to a study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, of those, only 12% of women and 40% of men eat the required amount to strengthen cardiovascular health. So what to do? Make a point of adding them, about 1.5 ounces total, to your daily diet. And please remember, not those chocolate cover type, just the plain nuts, not even salted coated. Anything that is processed nuts is no good. Just plain nuts will be fine.
Okay, good. How
And,
about the
this
kacang puteh man nuts?
Well,
Is that okay?
as long as you don't go for those salted type.
Okay.
As you know, the kacang puteh man, the salted type is really salty.
Yeah,
You
it's
just go
bad
for
for
the
health.
plain one will be fine. And cashew nut is also good, but not too much, because actually when you look at it, most nuts carry a very minute contents of toxic chemicals. Right. So not too much. We just have moderate. Everything is on moderations. So if you continue with nuts, I mean, it's a very good option for snacking.
Yeah.
You know? So a lot of people would like to snack on potato chips. Change it to nuts. That will be a good alternative.
Yeah, you know, I know there's a very famous celebrity, a very, very famous guy who eats nuts every day. And he says that all you need for your daily meals is nuts. He doesn't need anything else. No rice, no curry, no veggie, no meats. Every day from morning to night, only nuts.
Yeah, it's true in a sense, but we in a lifestyle of various varieties, right? So we can, of course, if you can condition your mind to only eat nuts, but we don't know what is the side effect of eating just nuts.
I think he lived quite long, this guy.
So, but actually, nuts is actually very healthy.
Yeah.
So, as long as we don't overdo it.
All of us know him. He's a very famous man from India.
Right.
His name is Mahatma Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi.
His whole life he ate
Yes,
only
it's true,
nuts.
it's true.
Nothing else.
It's true. And especially if you just take walnuts, I mean not cashew nuts. Cashew nut is especially higher contents in the toxic level. Right, so I mean it's fine if you can get hold of a good nuts. So as long as those are not the processed nuts, because you can see a lot of nuts will be coated with chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, people will just go there for the nuts. They thought they are taking nuts, but they are nuts about chocolates.
Great, guys. Now you know. Let's all go nuts about nuts. But remember not to have all the chocolate and the salt in our nuts, okay?
Right.
And we will be more healthy for it. Thank you, Eric, for that health tip. Let's continue now with our durian main story.
Okay, Ruby, what is the
Yes.
last common mistake that people make?
Okay,
Delay too long.
The last common mistake, right? Actually, they are when planning to choosing an insurance policy, they are actually dragging too long.
They can't make up their mind which one to buy or what to buy, is it?
This is another issue, but one thing is they are trying to procrastinating. They can't see the importance of the.
I see. They are not only choosing the policy, they are not sure that the insurance part is really good and necessary for them.
Yeah.
So
one
they
of the
postpone it later.
Yes, correct. And this will cause, if let's say in case they haven't made up any mind to decide anything, at the same time their health issue also coming up, worsen. so it will be quite difficult to apply any insurance.
Yeah, so firstly, it'll become more expensive when they grow older, right?
Yes, you're
Number
right.
two, they might have some health problems which make them not eligible to buy insurance at all.
Yes.
That is quite serious.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And the policy will be loaded.
Yeah, and finally,
There will be
one of
loading
the-
on the
during the
one of the
meantime, something bad might happen to them also, right?
Correct.
I think this is a very common problem that insurance agent faces, and also a lot of consumers also face this, because most consumers might not feel the needs of insurance,
Yeah.
because once they can't get the concept correct, and actually for a lot of people that actually who can't even accept the concepts of insurance. You see, we have people who tell us that why do we need insurance? Everybody, if we self-support everybody, we don't actually need insurance. But in today's world, who can self-support each other?
Correct.
So let's look at even medical. If medical, there's no medical insurance coverage, those who in needs of medical treatments will find themselves in deep problem.
Yeah, Eric, talking about medical, sometimes I hear this from people. Medical insurance is very important. In fact, all we need is just medical insurance. We don't need to buy anything else. Is that true, Ruby?
Oh, basically, right, it's only
Have you heard of people
correct.
telling you that?
Yeah, actually, it's quite common kind of query. A question among all the, among all of us lah. But actually, it's partially correct, because medical is quite important, but not solely important, because once we diagnose any illness, right, we are actually not so forever we stay inside the hospital. Yet when we discharge from the hospital, the expenses start when we discharge from the hospital. For example, like nursing care, and then some of the health product, they need to get some supplement. So this involves cash money.
Right,
So
yeah.
this
And
kind
then
of
maybe you
medical-
can't work.
Yes, exactly. Can't work. So the kind of expenses that you need to bear, right? The mostly part now another insurance is called critical illness. So they were coming in to provide you compensate in the cash terms. So this cash term actually can really help you out in your financial, will reduce your financial burden as well.
Right. So in fact, a lot of people like
Yeah.
they are so positive. They
Yeah.
don't see themselves can be sick, or
Yeah.
they don't see themselves can be accident prone.
Yeah, this take times to let them aware about this
A lot of
kind
people
of.
will have this kind of mentality. It will not happen to me.
Yeah, that's why this actually take times to educate them, and then to let them see the surrounding friends, because sometimes they haven't burned their hand, that didn't know how pain is it.
Yeah, that's
So-
not only true for insurance, even for sickness. Some people, they live very unhealthy lifestyle, they drink too much, they sleep too little, and then they tell themselves it won't happen to me, you know.
Especially for those young,
Yeah.
they don't actually see it. But for our age, we have been seeing our friends beside us is,
Getting sick, right?
Getting sick, going into that directions, and sometimes it's quite sad to see them going into that directions, because you know jolly well, actually our human body is just like a car.
But some people, like you say, are very positive. You still remember we had one guy who went to the doctor, and the doctor say you got 4 arteries blocked.
Yes.
So you should stop smoking, you should stop booze and going to nightclubs and change your lifestyle. So the guy says, no problem. Doctor, am I going to die tomorrow or not? Tell me frankly. So the doctor says, I cannot say for sure you're going to die tomorrow. That's all I need to hear. I won't die tomorrow, right? So I'll just continue. We got people like that.
Yes, and we also have a lot of people who actually don't want to face the fact. They
Yeah.
don't actually go to a medical checkup,
It's called.
right? And
Maybe too scared.
they're scared about getting the results.
Yeah.
If the result is negative, they would be forced to give up on certain leisure of life, certain lifestyles, certain scenes of life, we put it. So in this sense, it will give the insurance industry quite a challenge, because you look at it now, our so-called populations in Malaysia, we are almost like 60% obesity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this obesity is actually, I would say, 80% of it are lifestyle sickness. And how does all this lifestyle sickness comes about? We got to thanks to a lot of food show. Okay, everybody going for a food adventure.
Yeah, you see the amount of food porn on Facebook. You understand?
Yes, you will understand that.
Yeah.
So with all this,
Everybody
kind of,
wants to tell their friends what I had for dinner. You know?
Exactly.
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 And sometimes this so-called food porn is quite detrimental to one's health, and also quite detrimental to those operating restaurants, because everybody will start taking pictures and start posting their pictures to the site, to the social media, and all the food are just left there, get cold, then they got to reheat again, then they said the food is lousy.
Wait, don't eat first. Let me take picture. Okay.
So it's a so-called social, I would say a social illness. You know, but a lot of people will challenge my statements because they have been doing it so often.
They're still doing it.
And still doing it, and they say always challenge that now it's the trend, everybody is doing it, why can't we do it?
It seems that your friends are interested in what you want to eat.
Actually, who cares?
Exactly.
Don't say like that, Eric.
So in this sense,
my friends want to know what I eat, isn't it?
In this sense, it actually opens up quite a lot of so-called insurance risk for the insurance company. Because the medically risk, especially on obesities, there will be a so-called the phobic. You will have high blood pressure, you will have diabetes type 2, you will have high cholesterol. All these things will come in, and all these are actually the risks that insurance company are looking into. And it's a good word for the insurance company. They can actually load people. When you pass certain weight, I got to load you. When you pass certain weight, I got to load you. So that comes back to the same question that we're going to ask, that some waited too long. When they waited too long, the weight start to gain, they can cross the borderline, they become classified as obesity. Then the loading comes in.
Actually, procrastination is not only limited to insurance, right?
Yes.
People procrastinate on everything. Filing their tax returns, going to some shows or fitness.
Everybody would like to.
Everything also procrastinate.
So-called they like to live on the red line.
Tomorrow exam, today study.
Yes. You are talking to me?
Me too.
Right.
So everybody does that. Procrastinating, and then if you talk about insurance, procrastinating has so many problems. You get obese, and then it becomes more expensive, but still people procrastinate.
Yes, I would say it's so-called, it's in our DNA.
Yeah. Besides being in the DNA, I think one of the other reasons is that some people say that insurance is expensive, and I think that's quite true. Insurance definitely is not cheap. So maybe the people are waiting to have a bit more money to buy insurance. Is that right?
Well, maybe Ruby have faced that kind of objection before from the prospect, saying that I can't afford any insurance now.
Okay, this one is one of very common questions among all. Some of them. So this is our job to let them aware about what is the importance in their life. Because they say that it's a financial issue or whatever, all these things, right, is excuses.
Yeah, sometimes I feel it's quite what they call irony. The more you need insurance, the more you cannot afford it.
Yes.
And the very rich people, they don't really need insurance. They're so rich already. Anything happens, they can cover. They can afford it.
It's true, it's true. As you said, these are the things that when you need it, you can't buy it.
Yeah. That's life,
So like insurance, you got to buy it before you need it. When you need it, you got to kiss the thing.
Yeah, people who are poor and they need it most, because if something happens to them, then they have a loss of income. Then their whole financial life will turn upside down. Maybe the wife also will have to go and work somewhere, to become a PRO or to become a waitress or something like that, in order to make more money for the family.
Yes, and this actually happens quite often, and for those in the lower income group, actually these are the groups that require insurance coverage. Right, so I think as a lot of responsible agents who actually looks into the individual needs of their so-called prospect, Rather that, and sometimes it's really sad to see some young agents comes out just going after people's saving accounts. Well, in the sense that if they see your saving accounts got $5,000, they will whack you a premium of $4,000.
Okay, make sure you save all the money with them.
So this actually happens, and I would say it can be quite a sad case in a way, because they can afford to pay you the first year premium, they can't afford to pay you the second year premium. Then the policy will be lapsed. Then I would say that a well-trained agent will actually looks into the future affordability,
do
of
better
the policy,
planning for the client,
rather than looking towards their commissions. And one very senior agency manager actually told me once, when you see a prospect, you take care of their needs, you don't take care of your needs. When you start to look after your needs, the words commission will comes out from your forehead.
Yeah.
Then your prospect will actually can see the commissions coming out from your forehead. Then they will reject you. So I mean, these are the advice from a very senior agency manager. In a sense, it's true, because whatever things we do, if we look after people's needs, your benefits will come.
Correct.
So I mean, that's my outlook of life. Our benefits will definitely comes.
So Ruby, what other advice you can give to people who delay too long to buy the policy that they really need?
Okay, thanks Andrew. Okay, normally we will try to advise them to highlight the recently kind of a very common issue like MH370, like those this kind of issue which is really lost
unforeseen
circumstances, to let them see how urgency is it. Only the 1 day or 1 second you will lose a family without giving them anything. So we try to highlight them some of the story and some of the claim and some of the medical which is incurred a lot of really burdens their family to this kind of kind of case. So help them to aware about it. If let's say come, then we take some time to educate.
Sometimes tragedy happens and you really don't have any warning. Just like you have recently bombings in Thailand and places like that, where Malaysians were actually hurt and killed in these incidents.
Yes.
So you never know. You could be just walking by the street and then just beside you there's an explosion. What can you do?
We can't do much. And even though you're sitting by the roadside cafe, a car might just come crashing to you. And sometimes I would say that as an insurance agent, they will have their touching moments when they see that actually the so-called next of kin's actually been taken care of
financially
by the insurance coverage and the presentations of the checks to the next of kins. These are really touching moments where actually inspire the insurance agent to move forward and move faster.
Yes.
To spread the gospel, as I said.
Yeah, that's the passion of the job.
The passion of the job.
And you coming out, right?
So in this sense, an insurance agent that can actually surpass their so-called greatness when they see incidents like this, touching moments. So these are actually very motivating, very inspiring for an agent to actually prosper in their career. And I would say being an insurance agent can be a very interesting career. Right? I have friends who are in this career for almost like 30 years.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying, especially if you can help somebody, right?
Yes.
Especially those people who needed something and then they didn't know it, but you advise them, okay, please take this up now. Listen to my advice. Just take it up. Just sign on the dotted line and pay your premium every month, and then you'll be happy. And then one fine day, something bad happens, and the family is so glad that you help.
You actually force him to sign the dotted line.
Some people need to be forced.
Yes. and of course, whatever industry will have their black sheep. They always have this kind of stories that insurance agent cheated their money, all this kind of stories.
Yeah, which is true.
Which is true in a way, but I think with today's technologies, all these payments are actually protected in a sense. They can go through credit cards, they can go to bank transfer, and the agents sometimes don't even necessary to go on the monthly collections.
Right. Payment is one thing, Eric. You know, sometimes these unscrupulous insurance agents will ask their clients to buy something they don't need.
Yes.
Right.
That's what my early examples saying, that they will go after your bank account. Right? And I actually have agents approach me to ask me to pay a yearly premium of what? 40 to 50,000 single premium. I said, you must be crazy.
Yes.
So
there are such policies.
There are such
Which
policies.
are supposed to be some kind of investment. You get back money every year.
And they require you to so-called make a single premium of 5 years or even 10 years premium.
Yes.
So I mean, these are really absurd, because it's no point for me to pay current money for future gains.
Yeah.
Right. So
not a very good idea, right?
Not a very good idea, but the commission is huge.
So this is talk about the ethical already.
So it's
Yes.
ethics. So I mean, these are also some of the detrimental factors that makes a prospect have difficulty in choosing a policies, because they will find that why this policy cost me so much of money.
Yeah, right, guys. So if you have not bought an insurance policy yet, listen to Ruby's advice. You know, tragedies can happen anytime without us having any warning. You know, and it's a good idea to take care of our families and loved ones' needs while we still can, while we have still some income to pay for premium. Get your policy today.
Yeah. So
don't
guys,
delay anymore.
Yeah, remember, insurance is a product that you buy when you don't need it.
Yeah, life is, you know, sometimes it's very strange, Eric. We always like the things that are bad, and we hate the things that are good. For example, Eric is our health and fitness expert. He always gives us a lot of advice. Eric, a lot of food that are unhealthy taste wonderful.
Wonderful, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it's
things
true.
that are salty, oily, sweet,
sweets.
you know, cholesterol, things that are fried, roasted,
fat-laden,
all taste wonderful, but all these beautiful things are bad for our health.
Right.
You know, the good things all got no taste. They are flat, you know, veggie and things like that. Eh?
Yeah,
Same thing with insurance. Those it's very tough for people who are not earning enough money to buy insurance, but that is something that is really useful,
more crucial
and
for them.
necessary for them.
Yes.
Okay. So guys, if you fall into any of these categories, you got to make a sacrifice for the future of your loved ones and take up a policy right now.
Yes.
And go for the protection part. That's our advice. Don't go for so much investment because it's going to be more expensive, right?
So it also depends on individual needs. Some will have a problem discipline to save money, so an investment-linked policy will be advisable for them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Considering the limited budget for some people.
So I think insurance is quite similar to food. You know, it's the lifestyle. How you carry your lifestyle and how you spend your money.
Correct.
So it's related, correlated.
Yeah.
Right.
Partial will be affected as well.
Yes. If you have a limited budget, go for the most important things first, right?
Yes, correct.
That's Ruby's advice for our clients also.
Yes, Andrew. Yeah.
So, alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the show. We will be back with a brand new story for our Durian main story on ASEAN BIZ in the next editions. Thanks again, Ruby, for joining us.
Thanks,
It has
Eric.
been a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you.
And we
you for
hope to
listening.
see you here again soon.
Sure.
Right? I think insurance will have more topics than just choosing.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm willing to share.
Right, yeah.
So maybe Ruby would like to run a series with us. Okay, bye for now.
Yeah, bye guys.
Bye.